So, good morning, everybody. This is Rowan and Bryony from YogaBeez, and we are here to do some children's yoga with you today. Children's yoga for the whole family. So gather your mats, gather your family, and come and join us. You don't need mats. You can also just use floor space, maybe a carpeted area. And today we are off to Asia. We've been traveling around the world with our bodies and our breath and our imaginations. And today we are going to explore a country in the continent of Asia. So, why are you smiling?
Asia.
Yeah, Asia.
Well, China is.
Yeah, China is also in Asia. We're going to go to India today, probably. All right, so let's settle ourselves. Let's just find our sitting bones on the floor and place your hands on your knees, lengthening your spines, imagining a golden thread traveling from the base of your spine all the way up to the crown of your head. And imagine this lifting you up towards the sky, lengthening the spine, creating space in our upper body. And then just softening the shoulders, softening the jaw. And we'll just start to settle while people arrive. We can see some people arriving. So we just give everyone a moment to join us. You might like to close your eyes during this time and just try and let go of any distractions around you. And really just bringing your focus, your attention to how you feel in this moment. Maybe noticing your breath, maybe noticing the thoughts that come to mind, and noticing how the body feels in this moment. We'll start off with our 3 deep, nourishing breaths to get us started. Breathing in deeply through the nose, and breathing out of the nose or out of the mouth. Breathing in, and breathing out. Breathing in deeply and exhaling completely. Bringing our hands to rest in front of our heart centers. And as we bow to each other, the goodness in me sees and honors the goodness in you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you for joining us today. I'm going to just start off by closing the window. That seems to happen just in the moment we start yoga, is the lawn mowing happens outside. Yeah. Now, when I was talking about the golden thread, I could see that little glint in your eyes because you were thinking of your long piece of hair. He was saying he found this really long piece of hair in his curly locks. So his golden thread lifts him pretty high. All right, so off to Asia. Of course, the first things we're going to do is warm up the body, come into our sun salutations, and then we will start to explore this continent. For any of you who've just joined now, we've already been to Africa. We went on safari. We explored a few countries in the continent of Asia. Then we went to the Americas, North America. Last week, we went on an adventure through the Amazon rainforest in South America. And today we are heading to the biggest continent of all, Asia. All right. For any of you Montessorians out there, I'm sure you will recognize this Montessori globe left over from my teaching days, which has come in very handy to explore these continents with you all. All right. So let's come into some warm-ups. I think we'll just start with our legs crossed today and bring our arms to our side. As we breathe in, let's lift the arms above the head, really stretch the arms, stretch the fingers, and then taking one hand to the opposite leg, the other hand behind you, and just a little twist out of the spine, looking over your shoulders. Breathe in as we lift up, and let's go to the other side. One hand on the opposite knee, looking over your shoulders, a little twist into the spine. And then coming back to the center. Interlace your fingers in front of you, push them away from you. And as we inhale, let's lift them up, breathing in. And as we breathe out, let's let them go. Twinkle those fingers all the way around you and then bring the hands behind you Interlace your fingers again. Open up your heart, open up your shoulders, and breathe in. And as we breathe out, let's lean forward. And maybe those hands come up slightly behind you, or maybe they stay on the back. Breathing in as we come up again. Bring the hands out, give them a little shake. Take them on the floor in front of you. Keep your sitting bones connected to the floor and start to walk your fingers forward. Walking your fingers forward to as far as they go, still keeping the sitting bones on the floor, pressing the hands into the floor. Can you feel a stretch in your back? Feeling the stretch. Can you feel a stretch? So when you get to that point, maybe just round the back and let the neck be long and the head be heavy. Now, while your head is hanging, just have a look at which leg is in the front. We're going to come up onto our little TP fingers and walk the hands into the opposite direction. Opposite direction. So if this leg is in front, you're going to walk your hands this way around and give your side body a good stretch. Hello. Oh, it's a little vampire today. And then come back to the middle, walk your hands back, place your feet on the floor, take your hands behind you. You're going to come into a tabletop. So press those feet into the floor, lift your hips up and look along your knees and give us a smile. And then lower yourselves down. This time put the other leg in front. If you can remember which one it was, it's usually the one that feels a little strange when you sit. So you got, I think this one needs to come in front this time. We're on opposite sides today. All right, and from here, hands to the side. Bring your arms above your head. Interlace your fingers. Bring them down and then push them away from you. Breathe in, lift them up again, and let's let go of the fingers. Twinkle them around the bodies and take them behind your back. Interlace. Open your heart, open your chest. Breathe in. And as we breathe out, let's lower again. Maybe your arms lift up, maybe they don't. Just listening to your bodies. Breathing in as we lift ourselves up. Remember, in yoga, we just do what feels comfortable on our bodies. We never push it until it hurts. If it's hurting, you may be going a little too far into the pose. So just always honor your body where it is on that particular day. All right, we are going to take the hands forward, walk the fingers away so we can get a stretch on the other side of our backs. Stretch the back out. Notice which leg is in front and walk your hands to the opposite side. Stretch out the side of your body. Bye. Oh, I miss you.
I miss you too.
Come back to the center and walk your hands up. This time we're going to challenge ourselves slightly with the tabletop pose. We're going to come into a sort of inverted plank position. You're going to point your toes, take your hands behind you like we did for tabletop. And you can notice what feels better for you. Maybe you just want to have your fingers pointing out to the side. Maybe you want to have your fingers pointing back. Try them all. Maybe you want to have your fingers pointing forward. I like this one because it gives my wrists a good little stretch out. Pressing into the floor, pointing your toes, and then lifting your hips up. Try and make a line with your body like a slide. Look down to your toes. Good. Feeling it in your arms. And slowly lower yourself down. Let's come into a little butterfly pose for a moment. Flap those butterfly wings. And let's stretch out the hamstrings, the back of the legs. Take your peace fingers, wrap them around your toes. Stretch one leg up. Come back. Stretch the other leg up. And if you can't hold the toes, of course, you just hold a part of the leg that feels good for you. And come back. All right, crossing those legs again. Hands on the knees. Let's get a little movement into the neck area. So slowly looking over one side behind you. Come back to the center. Looking over the other side behind you. Back to the center. Always really good to warm up all the joints of the body before we start some of the actual poses. Looking down towards the floor. And as we breathe in, let's look up towards the sky or the ceiling. And back to the center. Let's take one ear to the shoulder. Breathing in. And going to the other side. And breathing in. All right, we're going to transition up for our sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. 12 yoga poses linked with our breath. So always thinking of our transition up. Let's place our hands on the floor. Fold yourself over into heel sit, into all fours. Your hands are coming down from your shoulders. Your knees are coming down from your hips. Maybe we'll just do one cat and cow. Round that back, look towards your thighs. And then tilting the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Have a little bend in your front arms as we look straight ahead. Come back to a neutral spine and tuck your toes under and lift your hips up into downward dog. If this is your first downward dog of the day, you might like to walk the dog out. So making your body into this triangular shape, bending one leg and straightening the other. And bending the other leg and straightening. And I always like to, I'll come sideways for this one. I always like to come right up onto my tiptoes and then sink my heels down into the floor, bending your knees. This time let's walk our feet towards the hands. And we'll take a moment just to hang forward in our ragdoll. Bend your knees as much as you need to so you can really let your body hang. Let your back be long, your head be heavy, maybe a little nod, yes, yes. And a little shake, no, no. Very gentle. And then roll yourselves up into mountain pose. Right, from here, we're going to move through. Maybe Rowan can face forward and I'll face to the side. So arms by your side, take a deep breath in. And breathing out, hands together in front of your heart. Breathing in as we stretch our arms up towards the sky. And breathing out as we fold from the waist. Bend your knees as much as you need to so you can place your hands on the floor and take a big step back with one knee. Drop the back knee on the floor, look straight ahead into your runner's lunge. Press your hands into the floor and step back into plank. Bodies are flat like a plank. Strong arms, strong legs, and then lower your knees, your chest and your chin. Glide forward into a little low cobra, pressing onto your hands, feet into the floor, look straight ahead. Lovely, tuck your toes under and lift your hips up into downward dog, looking at your toes. The same leg we step back, we're going to lift up towards the sky and step it all the way forward, back to between your hands, back knee on the floor, look straight ahead. Step the back leg forward, use your arms and your breath as we inhale up and exhale back into mountain pose. And now we do the other side. First of all, let's just take 5. So we can't breathe and count at the same time. So we can use our fingers as our counters. Let's breathe in for the count of 5. And out. In. And out. Great, so I'm going to do the left side, you're going to do whichever opposite side you did from before. So, mountain pose, breathe in. Breathe out, hands together in front of the heart. Breathe in, lift those arms up and look at the sky. And then breathe out as we fold from the waist into our forward bend, bending our knees, hands on the floor. You're a step ahead. And step one foot back, back knee on the floor, look straight ahead. Take the other foot back into plank and lower your knees, your chest and your chin. Inhale, glide forward into your baby cobra. Exhale as we lift the hips up and look at your toes. Inhale, breathe in, lift that leg up and step it all the way forward. And now we breathe out as we step the other leg forward. Breathe in deeply as we lift our arms up and breathe out into our mountain pose. Let's do that. Take 5 breaths again. Breathing in and out. In and out. All right. So we're going to get into an aeroplane. This is a pose based on our warrior 3. So we're going to step forward, take your wings out to the side, and maybe just take 1 foot behind you. And you can keep it on the floor, absolutely fine. Or you might like to lift it off the floor as we lean forward. I'm not sure what's behind me, but I'm about to kick. And we fly, fly, fly all the way to that continent of Asia. We land today in India. Namaste. Almost there. We've arrived in Delhi. Now we're going to fly down to Agra. So let's take the other foot behind us, lifting it up, opening those wings. Find yourself a focal point to try and help you to balance. Excellent. And coming back. So here we are in Agra. We must go and see the wonderful Taj Mahal. So if you've ever seen pictures of the Taj Mahal, you'll see that it has 4 beautiful marble columns. So we're going to place our feet on the floor in mountain pose, bring our hands above our head, and make like one of the little columns by bending the arms. So 4 of these columns hold the most beautiful big building together. Maybe after this class, if you don't know the Taj Mahal, you could, with your mum, maybe research it on Google and have a look. It was a love present, one of the biggest love presents, a whole beautiful building. Let's come together and do a bit of a partner pose. Let's hold hands together, and we're going to press into the feet and maybe lean the hips back as we extend the arms forward, making this arch shape with the bodies. Good. And while you're here, you can bend your arms and you can give each other a little air kiss. This is how we have to kiss during the time of Corona. Mwah. Mwah. He's avoiding them. He's avoiding them. All right. So from here, we are going to get into the deluxe bus and we're going to head over to Rajasthan, one of my favorite parts of India. So beautiful and diverse and so much color and desert and water and really very beautiful. So let's, this is great fun if you've got a whole circle of people. So if you're a family of 4 or 5, this one's excellent. A little bit harder if you're just 2, but still doable even if you're just 1, because we're going to come into the chair pose, which I'm sure you're familiar with. So if you are a group, you could all make yourself into a little circle, or if you've got one partner, you can bring them in front of you. And we're going to be nice and close, and on the count of 3, we're going to all sit down into our chair pose, and the person in front will have a seat on the person behind, if it works. Ready? 1, 2, 3. So sit as if you're sitting in a chair. There we go, and we're driving in our deluxe bus all the way down. So the point of getting out of this is you also have to count to 3 and do it at the same time. 1, 2, 3, and stand. And off we go. So here we have arrived. I think we should have some chai. I'm feeling a little thirsty. So let's open up our legs. This is the Trikonasana, or the triangle pose in yoga. We're going to turn one foot out, give yourself a handle, and give yourself a spout. Also see how many triangles you can find in this pose. One here. You could draw a line here and find another one. Here another one. Here another one. One between the legs. Many different kinds of triangles. Equilateral, isosceles, scalene, right angle triangles. Again, another thing you can look up if you want to explore a bit more maths after the session. Ryan's like, can you hurry up already? Is your spout getting tired? Okay, from here, we're going to lean our arms out. We're going to tip ourselves over and pour ourselves out. So there's all different ages watching these programs, but if you're one of the younger ages, or whatever age you are, and you like to sing, look at your hair, and you like to sing, let's do that on the other side. So turn that foot in, turn the other foot out, give yourself a handle, and give yourself a spout. And this is the yoga version of I'm a Little Teapot. Sing along with me. He really doesn't like when I sing. I'm going to sing anyway. I'm a little teapot, short and stout. Here's my handle, here's my spout. When I get all steamed up, I reach out. Just tip me over and pour me out. All right, so really lengthen those arms. Maybe not shaking the head too much in this pose because our necks are very delicate, but you might like to look up at that hand, or you might like to look straight ahead, or you might like to look down. Let's bring ourselves up, walk our feet in, heel, toe, and from here we're coming down into our yoga squat. This is a good pose to know when you go to India. So let's see if we can turn our feet out. Maybe bring your hands into Namaste. You could maybe use your elbows to push your knees open. If it's really tricky balancing like this, you can always stay up on your toes. Maybe rest your elbows on your knees. Or you could place a little block or a little towel or something underneath your feet if you want to practice this further on. Have we lost you already? Uh-oh. Right, from here, let us all sit down, gently down to the floor or lower yourselves down. And we're going to make some chapati. So for our chapati, let's open our legs nice and wide, creating a little bowl shape in front of us. We're going to pour in some flour and we're going to pour in some water. I actually just remembered what I wanted to do in the squat pose. So you might be in this pose, you might want to stay here, or just to get a little twist in your side body, you might want to come back to that pose. I was actually going to look for the ingredients as I place one hand to the opposite leg and lift that arm up to get the flour. And then place the other arm to the opposite leg and lift that arm up to get the flour, the water. And then come back to our bowl. All right, so we poured in our ingredients. Let's take a spoon to start, and we'll do 3 big stirs one way. See if you can stir all the way forward and all the way back, all the way forward and all the way back, and then the other side. Forward and back, forward and back. And the stir is getting very stiff now, so let's gather it up into a little ball, Now for this one, make sure there's nothing behind you that you can bang your heads on. And also try and keep your chin tucked into your chest. And then you might want to hold on to the front of your legs. You might want to hold on to the back of your legs. And we're going to just do 3 little rolls. Back and up. And back, you need a little bit of momentum. And up. Oh, we lost one chapati. And back and up. Really got to use your core strength there, the muscles in the belly and the lower back. All right, let's roll out these chapatis. So roll forward, lean up, and roll them out with your hands. Lean up, roll them, maybe pat them. Now we're going to cook them. They cook very quickly, usually on an open fire or on a little pan. And then we are going to put some ghee on top of them. So take the ghee in your hands and let's massage it into the chapati. Massage it right down into the toes, into the feet, into the calves, into your quadriceps, your thigh muscles. Take the heel of your hand, smush it in the ghee and rub it over the belly in a clockwise direction, just giving your digestive system a little massage as we do that. More ghee in the hands and put it into the shoulders, really covering that whole chapati, giving yourself a nice little massage at the same time. All the way down the arms. And finally, let's rub it into the face, onto the cheeks, forehead, and then onto the skull, really massaging the head. I personally love the way that feels. Massaging it into the head. All right, from here, we're going to head out into the desert, beautiful sandy deserts. We're going to ride a camel. I did that once for 3 days. I don't recommend it. Maybe 1 day on a camel, 3 days on a camel. Well, it wasn't that comfortable, let's just say. All right, but these camels are very comfortable. So place your hands on your knees. And we're going to just round our backs and look towards your belly button. And then breathe in Lead with the chest as we look straight up towards that beautiful blue sky. Breathe out as we curve the backs round, look back towards your navel, your belly button. Breathe in as we look up towards the sky. All right, we can either stay in that camel, or we might want to move into the first stage of another camel pose. For this one, we come into all fours. And if you face forward, I'll face to the side. So basically from here, you're coming up onto your knees. Take your hands and place them in the small of your lower back, fingers pointing down. And then you can just look straight ahead. That's the first step. Or you might like to start to get a little bend in the back. So we maybe look up to where the wall meets the ceiling. Opening up the heart, opening up the chest, rounding the back. Maybe you want to look up towards the sky. And then coming up. From there, you might want to tuck your toes under. Take one arm back behind you, place it on your heel. Take the other arm back behind you, place it on your heel. And then you're going to push your hips forward as you look up. If that feels too intense, just come back to the one before, untuck your toes, and find your little bend that way. Good, nice pose, Rowan. So from here, come down onto your heel sitting, and then folding forward into a little child pose. Place your forehead on the floor, and just give your back a little rest here for a moment. Whenever we do a back bend, always really nice to follow it off with a forward bend. A lovely child pose to follow. Right. We're going to head down to south of India now. Such a huge country. It would take you days and days and days, sometimes days just to get from one side to the other side. On the way, we pass through many villages, and you'll notice in many of the villages, walking the streets, there are cows, there are cats, there are dogs, all roaming freely. So let's come into our all fours. And we're going to do some cats. We're going to round our backs as we look towards our knees or our navels. Meow. We're going to tuck our tailbone under and be lazy cows walking through the streets. Moo. We're going to round our backs again for the cats, bouncing around, causing mischief, looking at your belly buttons, looking at your knees, and then tucking that tailbone up towards the sky. A little bend in your arm as we look straight ahead. Moo. From here, the wild dogs, tuck your toes under, all the street dogs, and bringing your belly towards your thighs, lengthening out your legs. And if you fancy, you can bark. And let's really strengthen the arms. Keep that flexibility in the legs. Lift one leg up. And lift the other leg up. Not at the same time, although you can if you're feeling adventurous. And from here, back down onto the knees. Right, it's quite a long way down to Kerala. So we are going to go in a plane. Oh my goodness, I've done it again. Gone way over time. So maybe we will just arrive in Kerala and we will go on the backwaters in a houseboat. Take a few moments. So our last little pose for the belly here. Take your hands underneath your legs and see if you can find your balance. So probably easier if you start sitting, or are you in Shavasana already? He might just have a lay down in his boat. For me, I'm going to bring my hands under my knees, see if I can lift the legs up, and maybe you can bring your arms out to the side. From here, you might like to try a little challenge. So from here, we're going to start to straighten out the legs as we slowly, with control, lower ourselves down into Shavasana. So let's just all take a moment here. Laying on your backs. Find your comfortable position. Let your feet just flop out to the side. The back of your hands on the floor with your palms facing up towards the sky. And just allow your body to rest. Allow the belly to gently rise and fall with the breath, just naturally, not forcing it in any way. Notice the weight of your heels on the floor, the parts of your leg that make contact with the floor. Notice the weight of your pelvis, your hips, your shoulder blades, your arms and legs become all floppy like cooked spaghetti. Your head supported by the earth. Maybe you can imagine the floor is a big piece of toast. You are a little blob of ghee. Oh, maybe the floor should be a chapati, and we are the ghee. And just allow your body to melt, melt, melt into this moment. No shape to make, nowhere to be, nothing else to do, but just let go and enjoy this moment of stillness, of quiet and calm. Noticing the breath coming in through the nose and out. Maybe you can notice as you breathe in through the nose, the breath is cool. And as the breath leaves, it feels much warmer. So holding on to this lovely, calm, peaceful feeling in the body and in the mind, we're going to very gently wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. If you'd like to stay in Shavasana and have more of a relaxation, that's totally fine. You can stay for as long as you like. Bring your knees in towards your chest if you'd like to come out. Take hold of the top of your knees and maybe just have a very gentle rock from side to side. Very gently, just massaging your back on the floor beneath you. And then lower your feet down to the floor. Gently let them lower to one side. Let your whole body follow this movement. Make a little pillow with your hands. Take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And then pressing your hand into the floor, we're going to slowly roll ourselves up. Coming back into our comfortable sitting position. Thank you so much for joining us again today. At the moment on these live classes, of course, we can't see you, but on Thursdays, we are now doing the class in Zoom. So if you've missed part of this class or you'd like to come and introduce yourselves to us, we'd love to see you in the class. So Thursday at 3 p.m. via Zoom, and you can just email me, Bryony, info@YogaBeez, YogaBeez with a Z. And let's finish off with those last 3 breaths. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. Breath in, breath out. Bringing our hands together in front of our hearts. The goodness in us, there's goodness in you. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you so much. So if you haven't yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, it'd be lovely if you did. If you are on YouTube and you'd like to like the class, that would be great too. And please share with friends and families who might like to incorporate a bit of yoga into their homeschool day. I said, tell the other families to like and subscribe too, please. All right, so thanks for joining us today. Namaste. Have a beautiful day. Adios. So many little buttons.